I've never got this scared in my life. And he left and he was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now. Okay. End of message.
A family devastated. A 19-year-old college co-ed quietly studying on her own there on campus goes missing. Out to Joe Gomez, news director, KTRH. What happened?
Nancy, this beautiful 19-year-old college girl, police believe she was abducted from her college campus after she was studying for a final when she apparently smacked an intoxicated man who was harassing her. Moments later, Aisha apparently left a blood-curdling voicemail on her sister's phone, screaming for help. Her sister tried to call Aisha back, then she went to campus to find Aisha, but there was no trace. She was gone. Now, police are trying to piece together this mystery, Nancy.
Take a look at Aisha. She's just 19 years old, studying quietly there by herself on campus. Apparently, she was approached by someone. Joining me right now is her cousin, Aisha Khan's cousin, Sana. Hi, Sana. Thank you for being with us. What happened to your knowledge?
I'm sorry?
What happened?
We got a voicemail from her saying that some guy harassed her. She got mad. She slapped him. He was very mad after, and that was the end of it.
So
that's all we heard.
Clark Goldband, she's sitting out studying, minding her own business, and someone approaches her. We know that for a fact because she left this voicemail. What do we know, Clark?
Well, Nancy, also what's interesting is when the sister heard this voicemail, she tried to return Aisha's call and could not get Aisha. She then drove to the campus where Aisha was at the bench studying and found some of Aisha's personal belongings, including her backpack and an iPod.
Let's take a listen to the voicemail again. This is our only clue.
Oh my gosh, it was so scary. My heart is like pounding. I've never got this scared in my life. And he left and he was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now. Okay. End of message.
Joining us, Mark Class, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation. His specialty, missing people. Piece it together, Mark Class.
Well, law enforcement should have been notified immediately, but they now have a contained crime scene. They know that something bad happened there, and they're going to methodically go through all of the evidence, and hopefully it'll bring them some leads. Also, anybody within the community that might have any knowledge of some odd individual stalking pretty young girls there has to come forward as well. They will be able to piece this together, but people have to realize, Nancy, that college campuses in America are where the brightest and the most beautiful young kids are, and they have a real sense of security that oftentimes can be a false sense and lead to these kinds of situations.
You know what, Liz, let me hear that voicemail one more time.
Oh my gosh, it was so scary. My heart is like pounding. I've never got this scared in my life. And he left and he was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now. Okay. End of message.
Clark, when they go back to the scene where she was studying, first of all, she was not in a structure. Wasn't she sitting at a picnic table outdoors studying?
Yes, Nancy.
Okay. So when cops go back to the scene, or was it the family, what did they find at the picnic table?
Well, when the sister went there, she found the cell phone, the backpack, and she found an iPod just laying there, and she knew they were her sisters. Now, Nancy, also important to point out here, some construction workers, according to some reports, claim they saw her walking away. However, according to reports that has not been verified by law enforcement, they're also scouring surveillance to help them piece this thing together.
I mean, you'd think at a college, Clark, that there'd be surveillance cameras everywhere.
Well, exactly, and I know law enforcement has been combing through those tapes, but they have not shared with us at this point what, if anything, that has been found.
Liz, let me see that picnic bench again, because it's not the way I really envisioned it at all. When I was told a picnic bench outdoors, look, it's right by a structure, Clark. Look at that. You'd think that someone in the building would have seen what was going on if there was a confrontation.
Well, and Nancy, you know, just traveling around college campuses, you see a lot of them now have these blue light phones or these blue light push buttons that when something does happen, if there is an emergency, you can just smack the button and security or law enforcement would be dispatched right away.
Yeah, Clark, if you can get to it.
That's
Clark,
a good point, Nancy.
Explain to me, we're hearing part of the voicemail. What do we know about whoever approached her? I know it was a guy. That's all I know.
Yes, Nancy. Apparently, it might have been a homeless person who approached her. He was saying inappropriate things. Some reports also claim that he tried to kiss her. She then tried to remove herself from the situation, including allegedly smacking him. And then he supposedly leaves, as you heard in that voicemail. But the big question here is, what happens after that phone hangs up?
You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. To you, Mark Class, she'd have to be dragged away from that location physically. I mean, she did not just walk to this guy's car. That tells me wherever she is, it's close by, very close by.
Well, it also tells you that something terrible has happened. She would not leave her personal effects, her cell phone and her iPod, behind if she willingly walked away from a scene. Something probably pretty terrible has happened to this girl, and you're right, they probably are very close by. There should be surveillance. They should be able to solve this crime, as they're unable to solve so many of the other crimes in the Midwest involving young college girls, young co-eds.
We are taking your calls to Linda in Mississippi. Hi, Linda. What's your question?
Hi, Nancy. I want to say Merry Christmas to you and your lovely family.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And I also want to know, have they brought in tracking dogs?
Good question. To Joe Gomez, KTRH tracking dogs?
Well, Nancy, I'm not sure about tracking dogs. And the police are pulling out all the stops and trying to find Aisha. They're interviewing witnesses. They're trying to find a witness, rather. They're just trying to find somebody that might have seen something off-putting. I mean, we do know the construction workers on campus did see somebody matching Aisha's features walking away from the area.
Oh, tracking dogs. Yes, no, maybe. I didn't hear that. Gomez?
At this point, we don't know. It's unclear to us, Nancy.
Clark, what do we know about tracking dogs? Do we know?
No, we don't know. I know that a golf course nearby has also been searched. Authorities are pounding the pavement on trying to find Aisha.
There is a $10,000 reward set up in the search for Aisha. Take a look.
Oh my gosh, it's so scary. My heart is like pounding. I've never got this scared in my life. And he left. He was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaking out right now. Okay. End of message. Oh my gosh, it was so scary. My heart is like pounding. I've never got this scared in my life. And he left and he was so pissed. Pick up your phones. I am freaked out right now. Okay. End of message.
That tip line, 816-474-TIPS, TIPS. Gomez, I didn't know she had just gotten married. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know that she has just gotten married. I understand police are talking to her new husband, trying to find out if he knew anything about this attack. Did she try to call him? You know, was he also looking for her? But that's an interesting new development to this story.
Sana, who exactly did Aisha call?
She started out calling Faiza first, then she gave me a missed call. Faiza had 3 missed calls, I had 2 missed calls. The last one on Faiza's missed call, she left a voicemail on her phone.
Okay, and I'm certainly not in any way suggesting the new husband is part of this disappearance. Not at all. I'm just learning this as a new fact. To Leslie Sapini, this opens up to a wide possibility. A random stranger is what it sounds like to me, with her sitting on campus. But typically cops start their investigation right there within the family. Husband, boyfriend, ex-lover, then they move out. Delivery boy, maintenance worker, mail delivery, then they move out. What do you think, Leslie?
You know what? In this case, I don't think it has anything to do with the family, because she calls and she says a drunken man approached her. She says she slapped him. So we have on record her saying exactly what led up to her disappearance. So we know the family has nothing to do with it.
Everyone, let's stop and remember, Army Private